guys, it's your girl Dee'Anna Elise, and I am here again with another video for Let's Talk About It Tuesday. You guys are going to be seeing me getting ready for work. This is not a get ready with me video, but I had to find time to film, and I've been procrastinating, making excuses, and I just decided, you know what? If my issue is time, then I'm gonna just have to make the video while I'm getting ready to do something else. So had to let y'all know that. So today's topic is intention, and it's brought to us by this tweet from the lovely Tony Town on Twitter. For those of us that may not know the definition of intention, let's post that real quick. Alright, now that we're all familiar with what the actual definition of intention is, let's get into this. Anytime I talk about why I feel it's so important to live by intention, I have to refer back to Solange. If you guys are aware of her album, When I Get Home, then you are also familiar with her track, Nothing Without Intention. I remember listening to it for the first time. I was living in New York, 21 years old, on my way to a photo shoot to meet up with a friend. And the song came on as I was getting off the train. I was maybe a 7-minute walk away from my shoot. But I just remember, do nothing without intention. Do nothing without intention, right? I kept saying it to myself over and over internally, even after the song was over, even as I'm still, walking to the shoot location. And I just feel as though it shifted my entire perspective on how I was operating in life. I remember going home and just reflecting on how I was moving in life and how I'd been moving in life. Not to say that I was just out here being reckless or whatever, but I don't think I had as much thought behind certain things that I did. Don't get me wrong, I'm very much a planner. I need, a reason to do everything, but sometimes that reason was just, well, I want to get this done for the sake of getting it done, or I want to do this for the experience, And sometimes I think we need to go a little bit deeper than just, I just want to have the experience. Why do you want to have the experience? Because you may not get the experience you're thinking you're going to get if you just say, oh, I want the experience. What is the experience? You see what I'm getting at? I'm definitely a natural planner when it comes to making moves. I'm a professional overthinker, but it got to a point where I realized I was more so being led by my emotions versus like actual genuine intuition and understanding what I'm trying to accomplish. Definitely shifted, like understanding what I'm trying to accomplish past the decision. Am I making sense to y'all? Please put one of those emojis with the little mustache on it. If I'm making sense to y'all, put that in the comments below so I know we tracking. I don't know what this is. Why is there black stuff on my freaking primer? Oh. Do you see why this is not a get ready with me? Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. With that being said, everything I do, from the food I eat, to the clothing I wear, to the music I listen to the content I allow myself to consume, I'm always thinking about, how is this going to affect me down the line? How is this going to potentially have an effect on the people around me down the line? Because it's important to think like that, in my opinion, in my personal opinion. It's really important to think like that because, yes, we can have main character, oh my god, my fingers are shaking. We can all have, main character syndrome from time to time. I get it, I have it. And it's not just about you. It's not. We have a larger effect on others than I think we allow ourselves to believe. And sometimes I feel like that's stemming from a place of not wanting to take accountability. Everything is chosen with intention. Seriously, guys, I feel as though all of that is really important. It's feeding so many different parts of you. Why not be mindful of what you allow to just float through your brain, your consciousness, because at some point your subconscious is going to regurgitate whatever it is that you're constantly allowing yourself to consume, no? Before I do anything, I ask myself, why do you want this? What is this going to accomplish? What do you get out of this past this decision? All of these questions are important. How is this going to affect the people around you? It's necessary to think about things like that, in my personal opinion. I feel like when I wasn't asking myself these kinds of questions, I was kind of gambling with the kind of experiences I was allowing myself to have, because, you know, or maybe you don't know, but I'm a really curious person. I tend to want to explore different sides of myself quite consistently, because I don't like limiting myself. You know, I feel as though, how can you really know how you'd operate in a situation until you're in that situation, you know? I feel like we're all so quick to be like what we would and wouldn't do if we were in a certain situation, but in my experience, you don't really know until you're there. And sometimes with me thinking like that, it's allowed me to be in spots I ain't need to be in, you know, or just in situations where there could have been a little more prepping. There could have been a little more thought behind it. I was just there, and I don't like that anymore. I'm not that person anymore. I need to know what the fuck is about to happen, or if I'm not able to know what the fuck is about to happen, at least I'm certain in myself instead of just being like, oh well fuck it. Like, you know, like, I want to be sure I'm okay with what comes from this, you know? I feel like all those times that I was just doing my own thing or just living, I don't think I was really living. I think I was just existing. Like, I just happened to do things just by chance, and I don't want to just exist. I want to live. By deciding to be more intentional in every aspect of my life, I truly believe it's given me more of an awareness on the ripple effect that being intentional can have and does have on your whole life. It's not just about me. Like I said earlier, we are always having an effect on other people, and I feel as though that being intentional challenges your ability to hold yourself accountable for how you're moving, you know? That's another thing. Being intentional low-key makes it harder for people to call you out on a lot. I mean, not to say I don't get called out on things, I definitely do, but it doesn't happen in a negative way as much anymore, or when people attempt to, they're usually misunderstanding what I'm doing. They're telling me what I've done, and I'm like, yeah, I know I did that. I did it on purpose. And then when I explain to them why, they're just sitting there like, oh, you did know what you did. Yeah, I did. I chose to do that. One time, this person I knew told me that they thought I moved with too much intention. They were like, you know, I don't really think you need to be as intentional with your decisions. Like, you're not really allowing yourself to just live. And, you know, because I trusted what they were saying in that moment, because I trusted them, and I just really felt like, why would they tell me something that wasn't for my benefit, or, you know, that wasn't going to help me be a better person? I just kind of, you know, took their advice and decided to just live and go with the flow. And I really feel like that was the worst decision I could have ever made at that point in time in my life. It just was not the move, but I couldn't have learned it without the experience that I went through. And I'm here to tell you, don't second guess yourself. What works for you may not work for somebody else, and what works for somebody else may not work for you, and that's okay. You know, if you're open to trying something that works for somebody else and it happens to work for you, okay, cool. But just because somebody close to you tells you that they recognize something about you, or they see something, discernment is really important at times when you're on your own journey and people don't necessarily understand why you're doing certain things the way that you're doing them. You got to get to a point where you're okay with them not getting it. It's not for them to understand. It's your life. You know, it's your experience, and sometimes that can just be a lot for people. Like, it can really just make them look at you like, oh, you're really switching up. Yeah, I'm growing. I'm not trying to stay the same person I was, you know, years ago or even yesterday. I want to be the best version of myself every single day. That's a choice, you know? Whenever people try to call me out on certain things that I've done, you know, like a haha, gotcha kind of thing, I'm just sitting there like, you didn't bring me any new news, okay? You didn't tell me anything I was unaware of. Yeah, I know I bought Bojangles 4 times this week. I, on purpose, decided to not give a shit about my diet. I know what I'm doing, okay? I'm comforting myself. I have chosen to do this. But, you know, you guys get what I'm talking about, you know? When people sometimes give you unsolicited notifications about who you are and how you are, and it's just like, whoa there, okay? Whoa. Oh my gosh, before I go, share this with people you know, people you don't know, people you like, and only people you like. Why should you only share it with people that you like? I don't know, probably because they're the only people you probably are still in contact with. He did exactly what I do when I feel like my friends are mad at me and went into, how do I fix it?